right, jumping back into it. Josh, you touched on something. You talked about a group of Republicans that I'm assuming we're speculating, right? Because I don't know of any polls that suggested this exactly.
Sure.
But a group of Republicans, and this logically would make sense, a lot of Republican voters who are just tired of the bullcrap, right? And what I mean is for the last almost 4 years, actually if you count 2015 and all that, we got nothing but bombardment about Trump. Every tweet I literally never had a Twitter until I got sick and tired of hearing about his tweets and thought I'd rather just receive them myself. So I got a Twitter account. Okay, but we got bombarded. And it was never anything positive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it was always negative. Even when he was doing something good. Oh, and I have a whole list. I actually printed out a list of all his accomplishments. Maybe we'll wait till
That's a long list.
It's very long.
It is a long list.
But you talk to any Democrat or liberal friend that I
have. He never did anything good.
Never did anything good, and they have no idea. They couldn't tell you anything good that he did.
Okay? You know what's funny is they can't tell you anything good Biden's ever done either. But moving on. Moving on.
Yeah, and
that's a whole different thing. It's a whole other thing, I guess.
But can you tell me about, and Marissa, chime in if you feel the same, the general fatigue you think people are getting where they just want the madness to stop?
Well, so first off, I don't think it's a Republican thing because, like, take me for instance. I'm not a Republican. I've never said I was a Republican. I would never identify as a Republican. Frankly, I think the Republicans as a party are batshit crazy and have completely lost sight of what's truly important. I'm definitely a conservative. By no means could you call me anything other than a conservative. So I think there is a large segment of conservatives who are just tired of it. They're tired of being threatened and lumped in as racist and fascist and just this constant bombardment of media and everything else and just ugliness from the left, frankly.
From families. I mean,
and from and having your own family members, right? Having your own family members tell you that, oh, you're responsible for literally just every evil in the world. It's your fault. Yeah. And they're just fucking tired of it. And they just don't want to hear it anymore. And if that means I gotta vote for this freaking possible pedo woman sniffer,
or abstain from voting at all,
then maybe that's what I'm gonna do because I'm just tired of it and I want it to end. Mm-hmm. I think that is a thing. I think that is a thing that it is the reverse of the Trump derangement syndrome, I get, in a lot of ways. So I've kind of gone a little crazy and a little emotionally fatigued being beaten up by the liberal left, and I'm just tired of it and I want it to end.
I know, like, Marissa and I have had these conversations too.
Yes, we have.
She gets tired of it, right? She doesn't necessarily want to hear about the stuff. She doesn't want to see me stressing about it. She doesn't, I mean, even after election night, I'm watching. I stay up till about 1 o'clock in the morning here in California, watching, and then I was up at 6 o'clock the next morning, turning on my phone, watching more stuff, trying to figure out what happened, what's going on. It's
a lot to take, though.
Yeah, and Marissa was just tired of it. She was like, look, just stop. She's like, delete your Facebook for a while. She's like, put your phone down. Let's just have breakfast. Let's just do this. Let's do that. And I think she's a reflection of how a lot of people feel. And I think you're right. I think you're onto something. Because here's the thing. There was a study that came out, and it showed that when Democrats don't like their candidate, they don't necessarily vote for the other guy. They just don't vote for a president.
Yeah, they just abstain completely.
They don't abstain.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of people who probably did not like Biden, who just said, well, no, but I'm going to vote on this tax measure. I'm going to vote on this ballot measure over here. They just didn't care to. Okay, because they couldn't bring themselves to vote for Trump.
Yeah, I think that happened a lot in 2016. I think there's a lot of people, a lot of Democrats who just, because let's be honest, Hillary Clinton is so easily hateable that they're just like, there's no way I'm voting for that witch, but I can't vote for Trump either, so I'm just not going to vote. I think that happened a lot in 2016.
And this one, you look at Arizona, would be a prime example of this. Jo Jorgensen, right, the Libertarian candidate. Yep. Okay, she had some great ideas. She got a lot of momentum behind her, but like a lot of Libertarian candidates, they trip. They always say that one or two things where I'm like, no, border security is still important. Yeah, you guys shouldn't do that. She got about 50,000 votes in Arizona, where if you took those 50,000 votes and put them towards the Democrat candidate or the Republican candidate,
that would have made a huge difference.
Oh, Trump would have won Arizona by far.
Oh yeah, if you put that towards
Libertarians are more likely to lean towards Republicans than Democrats.
Libertarians are generally more conservative. And if you would have taken those same 50,000 and put them towards Trump, he would have won Arizona hands down. Yeah. Regardless of any corruption that or voter fraud that you may think may have happened. He absolutely would have won that. But I think I'm going to call it, what am I going to call it? I'm just going to call it political fatigue.
Yeah.
I think, so I, over the last couple weeks, have had a real problem with it. I actually, for a minute there, was really concerned and actually was kind of super concerned I was suffering severe depression. No, severe depression. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't really want to get out of bed. I'm so tired of the ugliness of the world right now that I didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I stopped paying a lot of attention to Facebook. I stopped watching all the election madness. I wasn't listening to different candidates. I'm just so tired of it. Now, a lot of that, it wasn't just the election though. It's everything going on. It's that COVID. I had shit going on in my personal life that I really wasn't talking to anybody about, and everything kind of dumped on at once and just dragged me down to the ground for about 2 weeks, realistically up until about 3 days ago when I finally kind of came out of my funk. So, in fact, had it continued, there was no way I was even going to show up tonight. It was really bad to the point where I considered professional help, but kind of dealt with it on my own and pulled myself out. At least I'm pretty sure I have. So I get it. So I get how that can happen to people because it just happened to me. And I did vote, first off. I actually voted by mail a long time before this really started hitting me very hard. But we also live in an area, and I'm also not a registered Republican, so I really wasn't worried about anybody messing with my ballot because there's no indicators on there that says I'm a Republican, because I'm not.
Yeah.
But I do understand how that can happen to people. I think it did happen to a lot of people. I think a lot of people just stayed out of it. I know quite a few people who are definitely conservatives, and I know for a fact they did not vote for Trump because they're just tired of it. Some of them voted for, who was the guy running as president with Kanye as the vice president? They just did that as a joke because they're like, screw it, I'll just vote for them just so I actually can say I voted. But they did that knowing that, let's be honest, it wasn't going to go anywhere.
Yep.
By the way, however, can I just say, wouldn't it be hilarious if during Biden's acceptance speech, Kanye just went up on stage, grabbed the mic, and was like, hold on, I'll let you say what you got to say in a second. But if he pulled that whole Taylor Swift thing, that would be awesome. Plus, it'd be great to watch him get tackled by the Secret Service. But that would be hilarious. But no, like I said, I get how people could get there because I was there. Had I not voted by mail, I might have been in that situation where I just couldn't bring myself to vote one way or the other because I was just so down about the whole thing. So I get it.
Well, here's my message. First of all,
and just so you guys out there know that I told Brent about this earlier, and he called me spineless.
I'm
just kidding.
But there is a real fight going on. Okay, and I understand we're fatigued, we're tired of it. I think a lot of people are looking for, or at least hoping that there's going to be some sort of break.
Sure.
Where things will. Marissa laughs because she's right. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Okay, we're still.
Doesn't mean we can't want it's going to happen.
Things are going to get rammed down our throat. I actually did stop looking at my Facebook. I actually just deleted the app off my phone, and Marissa did the same, right?
Yes.
Okay.
There was a weird look there for a second.
Wow.
But just for like 10 days, just so I can get a break from it and kind of unplug and stuff like that. I get that, but here's the thing. It kind of goes back to how we started the show. If there really is fraud, to the point where, and again, you said it's not possible or probably not probable or whatever it is, but if you actually had enough fraud in certain districts that it could actually sway an entire state and change the outcome of the election, we need people to stand up and fight back.
I 100% agree.
We need people to go up and say, hey, no. We need people to donate to the defense campaign. We need people to step up. We need people to write their senators and stuff. So if you're looking at the same things I'm looking at, we need to start wrapping the show up or else I'll dive more into deeper stuff. But if you're looking at the same things I'm looking at, and things just aren't adding up or still doesn't make sense because not that it's not possible, but it's not probable. Okay. And like Judge Jeannie Pirro, I guess, Newsmax just reported that Fox canceled her program. She had a Saturday night program where she was going to dive into possible election fraud and some of the things that her people have come across, and they canceled it. Okay, now if you talk about election fraud, you're being deemed as dangerous speech.
Yeah, okay. And that's crazy.
Yeah, you're being deemed as dangerous speech, and they're going to inflict violence or anything like that. The right is not known for their riots and violence.
No, the left is.
I mean, when you see it start dumping tea in the harbor, then you need to be worried. But until then, okay, we're not really known for that kind of stuff. Okay, when we get mad or we're upset about something, boom, we take it to court. We write your senators, write your congressmen, write those people and say, hey, if I'm seeing things that don't add up, if you're seeing the same stuff, I need you to stand with that president. Okay, I need you to stand with President Trump. Okay, or if things aren't adding up, I need you to stand up. Or if you think things are legit, fine. Write your senator or write your congressman and say, hey, I need you to start helping out with this stuff. Because regardless, if we're looking at fraud, we deserve to get to the bottom of it. We deserve to have every question answered. And we need to understand that if it happened, how do we keep it from happening again in the future?
Sure. I don't disagree. like I said, I don't think there was enough of it that really would have swayed a state. Mm-hmm. I think if it went on, yes, it still needs to be investigated and still needs to be corrected because it's still an issue regardless of how effectual it was. Mm-hmm. Still has to be fixed.
Yeah.
I just don't think there was enough of it to truly have swayed things. Now, like I said, if one of these states comes up, like Georgia, where they find out there's a serious issue there, all the vote counting is done, and Georgia would have made the difference. I'm just saying, if Georgia would have made the difference, that would have made the difference between who got elected, well, then a serious investigation needs to take place.
Yeah.
If not, yes, an investigation needs to take place, but we don't need to drag the entire country into it.
Yes, and if it finds out Biden was elected fairly,
then
he's my president.
He's the president. Yep.
And we need to do better in 4 years.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, Marcy, you have anything you want to add? No. Well, thank you for being here.
I can't believe
I'm total fan favorite.
Right. I'm shocked. Me and Brent even got a word in with her here.
I know. Jeez. Terrible. I know. Sorry, maybe we get going on these tangents.
We do.
She gets a little overwhelmed, I think.
It's hard to have a third person just on a general topic.
So. But hey, if you want to write the show, dtp@usa.com. We also have a new website. That's disturbingthepeacepodcast.com. Funny story, I was looking at domain names, and disturbingthepeace.com was going to cost me $29,000.
Whoa! Yeah, somebody owns that.
Yeah, but the disturbingthepeacepodcast.com only cost me $1.
Nice.
So, disturbingthepeacepodcast.com. You can find these videos. You can find links to these videos. You can find links to the podcast. You could also find blogs. Okay, I actually wrote our first blog. Talking a lot about the stuff that just simply didn't make sense. Josh, feel free to write a blog if you want to add anything. Marissa as well if you want to add anything. Okay, that's a place for that. dtp@usa.com. If you want to email my producer, Gael, don't. He's underage, ladies. Relax. Okay, if you want to... if you want to email...
You just admitted we're using child labor.
If you want to email Josh... That will be alwayshopeful@yahoo.com. That's alwayshopeful@yahoo.com. And if you want to email my beautiful wife, please don't do that. It's not going to work out well for you.
Probably not.
Right, babe?
Right.
You wouldn't respond to random solicitations from men, would you?
No.
Not random.
Of course not.
Not random. All right, on that note, guys, thank you and good night. That's a wrap, folks.